Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Muhammad Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia. On this episode, we have a special guest, Erkeda DeRouen. She is the host of Prospective Doctor, and she's also a practicing physician. In this interesting and challenging time, I think it would be such an honor to actually speak to a practicing physician. And while she is practicing as a physician in these days, how she is doing it, and at the same time how she's helping others to overcome this what's happening in this world right now. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Erkeda DeRouen.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to your listeners and chat with you about the fun things that are going on.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Erkeda. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to get started with your podcast, Prospective Doctor?
That's a great question. So, for all of you guys out there who are not familiar with my podcast, I'm the host of the Prospective Doctor, which focuses on hot topics in medicine as well as helping guide and mentor pre-medical and medical students through their medical school journey. And I've always had a love for mentorship, especially of medical students. Ever since I was in school, I was always trying to help the next person and leading organizations and things like that. And over the past decade, that has grown. And we all search for different things, I think, in different hobbies when the pandemic started. And for me, I'm very sociable. So I love being around people and friends. So it was a different experience and an adjustment for me. So I started to look into different hobbies. And strangely enough, on Facebook, I was in a doctor's group and there was someone who was mentioning that an organization of that hosts different podcasts was looking for a new host. So I reached out to him and really enjoyed the mission of Med School Coach, who hosts a couple of different podcasts who are quite popular, and heard about the Prospective Doctor, which had been around for about 3 years. And I decided to take over the role because the old host was leaving. So I've been doing this since about August. So I'm fairly new in the podcast realm, but I've learned so much and I've met so many different people. And I feel like students are benefiting from it as well as other people.
Wonderful. So that's a very interesting because you are helping your next generation of doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Dr. Erkeda, let me start ask with this question then. What are the top three mistakes
Mm-hmm.
to avoid for the next generation of doctors to when it comes to the medical profession then?
I think that that's an excellent question because one of my episodes that came out today was actually talking to a physician coach who talked about imposter syndrome. And I think that it's something that a lot of students transition to who are transitioning into such an intense environment experience because they're the best of the best. And then when you get into a certain realm where you're all the best, there's going to be opportunities for growth and learning. So, one, I would say people should avoid self-doubt because you're there for a reason. You're phenomenal and you're there to grow. You're going to have hiccups and falls, but you're going to get right back up and utilize your resources to help you figure out how to move forward. Another one would be to shine. Don't fall back. I heard a really great quote a while back from someone that said, "Don't dim your light because it's shining in someone else's eyes." And I think that that can be very important, especially for students out there, because there is a culture of competition and all of these kinds of things. So if you know the answer, say it. Don't be ashamed and just let yourself shine because you're all there for a reason and you're all going to shine in different ways. And then my third thing would be utilize your voice. It's important. And a lot of times when you're in certain positions, whether or not you're a pre-med student or a student or even an attending physician or even a common citizen, as we're seeing in these times of all of the the racial injustice and all the COVID things that are going on, your voice is important, and people listen to you and use value of people who are educated in certain things. So if you see something that's not right, say something, and don't assume that the next person will, because it's important to stand for what you believe in and utilize your voice for that.
Mhm. Oh, that is amazing. Thank you so much. And Dr. Erkeda, let me ask you directly, what are your top three success secrets of your own being a practicing physician?
I think my top three success secrets, and it's kind of a work in progress because we're all growing, would number one be to speak up. I think I've grown over the years in that a lot. People see me now and they're like, "Oh my goodness, you're always trying to advocate for others and use your voice in a positive manner." But 10 or 15 years ago, I wouldn't have done that. And I had mentors and things in my realm and that helped me grow that actually encouraged me to speak up more. So it's okay to use your voice as long as you're respectful of others. Um, my other thing I think that's helped me is mentorship. As we mentioned, I have an interest in mentorship, and I feel like it's important because you are helping that next generation. And if there's only one you, but if you could talk to 100 or 1,000 or whatever number of people, even one other person, and make a difference, that can impact so many others. So you should share your gifts and not keep them to yourself because it can help many other people. And my final thing I think that's helped me is just taking a leap of faith and not necessarily following the norm, because I believe that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I've tried to do certain things that I've failed at, and I've tried to do things that may have been outside of the box that people may not have encouraged. For instance, when I transitioned from practicing traditional in-person medicine full-time a few years ago, a lot of people said that it may not have been a great idea, because for the listeners out there, I practiced telemedicine full time. And this is before 2020, where it popped up and everyone's hearing about it in the news. This was about 2.5 years ago. And everyone was like, I don't know if that's necessarily a legit thing. But I did my own research and didn't just take other people's opinions. And I looked into the legitimacy and the processes. And I decided to take a leap of faith. And now I'm thriving in it. So I think that it's important to mentor others, try to do things, and speak up.
Mentor others, try to do things and speak up. So you are like a visionary doctor. You could see the telemedicine coming a few years in advance than most of the people. Then, Dr. Akira, is that right?
If only I was a betting woman, but I wish I was that wise.
I think the mostly doctors are like not are were skepticism based on the insurance coverage of seeing a doctor and covering. I think that's more like a monetary issues were there in mostly in their head. They never spoken to their insurance companies. So regarding the prospective doctor, your podcast, there are many international students who want to come to US, and they want to learn the all the different tests they have to go through, and the different American medical system is different than the other countries, and what kind of tests they have to go through. Do you cover those things too, or this only for US students within the US?
No, we cover all kinds of students. It's topics that are relevant in medicine, period. So whether or not it is the process of international medical group students, IMGs, we've had some guests on there who have had that experience and are thriving and can help educate students. We have students who are non-traditional in other ways, whether or not they've had full careers before, or they decided to switch residencies and different things. So there are a variety of topics. And if is anyone out there that's listening that is an IMG and would like more information, feel free to email my website at drerkeda.com, or reach out to Med School Coach on Instagram, and our people can take some of the questions, and we can look for particular experts in your area to help you learn more about the process.
Yeah, definitely. The website is being displayed on your screen right now. Dr. Erkeda, very simple. DRERKEDA.com. Is that all? That's it.
That's it.
So if you are in a medical profession and you want to grow and learn more from other medical professionals, this is the place you need to go to and listen the podcast, subscribe to it, and get to know my guest, Dr. Keda, more closely by listening and watching drkeda.com. Anything else, Dr. Keda, which I have not asked you and you wanted to share?
I think that we talked about a lot of interesting things, and I just love that you're using this platform to help people figure out ways to succeed in different ways. So I just appreciate you for inviting me here. I am interested in looking forward to the new opportunities from 2021. For those that are listening, if you want to listen to my podcast, it's not only for doctors. We've talked about different things. Recently, I just interviewed someone talking about the efficacy of the corona vaccine, and we're talking about different ways to help motivate yourself if you want to make a change and stuff like that. So definitely reach out to me. I also do speaking engagements on a variety of topics, whether or not it's self-empowerment or topics in medicine. I am a board certified family physician as well as a board certified lifestyle medicine physician, which focuses on the whole body and you as a person. So feel free to reach out to me if you want me to talk at any conferences or events or even schools, because I think that everyone can relate to some sense of learning more about themselves, learning about their health, and how we can all work together to improve what is going on in the world around us.
Definitely, definitely. Dr. Arkeda, I ask this question to every guest who comes, and here's the question on your screen. What would you say to your best friend about growth hacking secrets? That's a show name where you are on right now when I'm not there.
I would probably tell my best friend to hurry up, drop whatever she's doing, and listen, because these are conversations that need to be had to help everyone grow. And if we have this growth mindset, we'll never stay stagnant. We'll keep growing and keep making different changes to help impact those positively around us. So I know that I'm going to share this with all of my friends so that they can take a look at it. And I'm sure that they'll start watching more of your episodes too.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your kind words. Really appreciate it. As we are about to wrap up, what would you say as a final word?
As a final word, I would just say that it's an exciting time for us all to grow. I know that 2020 for me was a time of reflection because I'm always on the go and I like to do a lot of different things, but it kind of set everyone down in a different way. So I think that 2021 for me will be a time to use what I reflected on and act on it. So these are those growth set secrets and secrets of success that we can do to help us all move forward. So I'm excited for what's to come in 2021, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to be here as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Erkeda DeRouen, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Muhammad Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. All good wishes.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.